Now, our next report takes us a little outside of Points West's usual area to Malta, an island in the Mediterranean. At this time of year, it's an important stopover point for birds migrating to Europe to breed, some of which will come here.
One man from Bristol, Steve Micklewright, has recently migrated in the other direction, taking up the role of Director of BirdLife Malta. It's a charity that's helping to safeguard the birds on their journey. Jez Toogood went to visit the island to see the challenges that Steve and the birds are up against. We should warn you, his report does contain images of injured birds.
Before sunrise, volunteers from across Europe set themselves up at vantage points across the island. As well as monitoring the number of migrating birds, they're also counting the number of gunshots.
3, 4, 5, 6. It's only 6:30 in the morning and we've heard over 300 shots, so hunters are out in force this morning.
During the season, Maltese hunters are allowed to shoot a limited number of migrating turtle dove and quail. Unfortunately, these aren't the only birds being shot at.
That went straight down.
Yeah.
Call the police,
The police were called, but they didn't find the bird or the hunter. Many other injured birds were recovered. This cuckoo still has a shotgun pellet lodged in its chest. An attempt was made to release it, but its prospects of being able to complete its journey don't look promising. It's impossible to say where its final destination would have been, but there is a chance it may have been on its way to join others already in Somerset.
Well, I was really excited to see my first cuckoo of 2013 on the weekend. But what's even more exciting on top of that is that the British Trust for Ornithology, the BTO, have been putting satellite tags on cuckoos. And so just in the last few weeks, these cuckoos have been making their way back to the UK and migrating through countries such as Malta. And so they're very vulnerable to being shot at, and indeed many do get shot.
Steve has had to face some criticism in his new job for being an interfering outsider, but he feels this new science justifies his position.
The birds that are flying over Malta are not Maltese birds. They belong to Africa, they belong to Europe as well as Malta. So I think I have every right here, as anybody who cares about conservation, to try to do something to stop something that isn't just affecting Malta, it's affecting birds across Europe.
Most Maltese hunters belong to the FKNK, the Federation for Hunting and Conservation. Their president insists that hunters who shoot protected birds are not typical of his members.
I never say illegal hunting, because it's either hunting or it's something illegal. If after 20 years they have not realized that they cannot do these things, they're not fit to hold a gun. And they're not fit, definitely, to be called hunters and to be members of our federation.
The hunting season ended yesterday. Steve and his colleagues at BirdLife will now send a report to the EU, as will the FKNK. One will attempt to justify the banning of spring hunting. The other will aim to convince why this long-held tradition should continue. Jez Toogood, BBC Points West, Malta.